sick of people at ESPN or SportsCenter who think they have their heads on their shoulders, but they really don't? Well, it's time for the Jimmy the K Sports Show, and we are going to small town Florida with the latest sports news. Now it's time for the Jimmy the K Sports Show. We're live and edited and giving it to you now. Here we go, boys. How y'all doing out there? It's me, Jimmy the K. Hoping you enjoy each and every intro that we give you or outro. Tonight we're going to go a little special with our outros because I got a little bit of classic rock for you. Classic rock is, I never understood that classic rock could be such a great intro or outro music type deal until, listening to a little bit of classic rock that I had previously listened to in the past. And then back in the days when I worked with Biz Radio 1110 AM in Houston, a lot of their intros and outros were classic rock. I got to thinking earlier this week, I was like, classic rock seems to work. All their intros are pretty good. All their timings are pretty good. Makes for great intro and outro music. I look forward to giving you a little bit more of that each and every day, and or each and every week, excuse me. I got lots and lots of stuff going on my plate right now that, to be quite honest with you, I can't do it all, forever. But what I can do is I can give you whatever you want. I can give you the sports news that you want. If you're viewing us, you have the opportunity to chat window with us. To the right, you have the opportunity to click on the menu button, and with your Facebook or Twitter, or even, I'm not for sure if it works with Ustream or not, so I'd be lying if I told you that I did. You have that opportunity also to send messages live while I'm doing the show, and I will answer them live more than likely, or if I don't know an answer, I will get to it, next week or the week after. But I'm all about you, the fans. You are what makes me one of the top sports shows on Ustream. I'm flattered to know that you're out there and you're watching, and that you're engaged. You're engaged with our Facebook page, the Facebook.com/allaboutsportszone. I really appreciate that. With all the sports news going on, I've got to really get with it right now. I'm kind of rambling, but let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to it. This show was for you. It was made for you, and I'm happy to bring it to you live each and every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So, with that being said, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots, and I can keep saying lots forever, of sports news going on right now that I want to go over. I'm basically going to go over college football scores at the end of the shows from now. I think that's probably going to work best for us instead of doing it at the beginning of shows, because some games have just started an hour, 30 minutes ago or so. And so the timing's going to be a little bit off. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit of the sports news. Before that, we'll go over sports scores from college football today and or this past week as well. And if you have any feedback, if you're watching, you have feedback, you have the opportunity to chat with me. You have the opportunity to message me if you're a friend of mine on Facebook. You know my name. Or if you like the All About Sports Zone page. Again, that's Facebook.com/allaboutsportszone. We'd love to have you there. We actually had 12 new likes this week. 12 new likes. So we're building on the audience. We're up to 37 to 40 likes or so on the Facebook page, and I'm grateful for that, and grateful for the opportunity to bring you sports news each and every day, or each and every week. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a little bit of sports news here. Yesterday, something happened in the NFL that kind of was jaw-dropping, in my opinion. The Seattle Seahawks traded problematic Percy Harvin to the New York Jets for a conditional draft pick. You know that they are a nuisance when they just trade you for a draft pick. They trade you for a draft pick, more than likely, that it's not all that good. The Seattle Seahawks probably did the best thing right now, as he was probably a germ in the locker room, somebody that was causing grief in the locker room, somebody that was, getting in the faces of players that was continually being a germ in the locker room, that they knew that they needed to get rid of him. So Percy Harvin was traded to the New York Jets, who got the better end of the deal, in my opinion. In my opinion, I believe the Seattle Seahawks got the better end of the deal. So that was one of the sports news from this week, which was kind of shocking in a way, but in some ways it wasn't. Along the NBA lines, we go to the NBA over to something that Kobe Bryant said. Kobe Bryant said, and I quote on his NBA or on his ESPN rankings, the rankings that they give NBA players on ESPN, I believe it was 40th out of 40 players. He said, and I quote, "I've known for a long time that there are a bunch of idiots." Kobe Bryant is nothing but the biggest crybaby in the NBA. I don't think anybody out there in the sports world will disagree with me, unless you are a Los Angeles Lakers fan, that Kobe Bryant has the biggest head, is the biggest whiner, is the biggest wham, rah, shish kebab out there in the NBA. Kobe Bryant got his panties in a wad over the fact that ESPN gave him the 40th spot in the ESPN's rankings of NBA players. Guess what? There's a reason why, Kobe. You're a washed up old man. I ain't afraid to say it. You're a washed up old man. There's hundreds, if not hundreds, of NBA players out there that are way better than you. You and Steve Nash are so old, you'd probably get beat by a bunch of old ladies, to be quite honest with you. Kobe Bryant needs to pipe his mouth down, needs to put his foot down, and needs to let his play do the talking. If he's going to whine about ESPN being a bunch of idiots for this ranking, then maybe he just needs to shut up, not say a word, and on top of that, while he's doing that, let his play do the talking for him. Kobe Bryant has had everything handed to him in the NBA, in life, everything else. Everyone else thinks he's a god, but guess what? Kobe Bryant is nothing but an immature, overgrown crybaby. And if anybody's an idiot, it's you, Kobe Bryant. Do I have the nads to tell you that? Yes, I do. I do have the nads to tell Kobe Bryant right now, and I would love for him to get in contact with me and be like, "Hey, I'm not an idiot." Well, guess what, Kobe Bryant? You are an idiot. And guess what? In the words of a great movie, you cannot handle the truth. Thank you. You cannot handle the truth, nor will you handle the truth. What other sports news has went on this week? A couple of things have happened in the Ranger realm, the Texas Ranger realm. Try saying that fast 5 times. Oh, even when you practice 30, 45 minutes before the show, you still get tongue-tied, tongue-tangled, or tongue-tied, however you say it. One is there's a report out now that the Rangers have a new manager, and I'll go over that after this, that the ownership of the Texas Rangers are looking to lock up John Daniels. In my personal opinion, and this is only my opinion, I believe that what the Texas Rangers need to do is not lock him up just yet. Because I do not want to lock him up or give him an extension until he can prove that he can hang with the big boys still. All right? I know some of you fans out there are going to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Jon Daniels was the man, the mastermind that got the Texas Rangers to the World Series. I'm not going to disagree with that statement. He was not the mastermind, though. He had help. If it was not for Nolan Ryan and ownership coming in, I read a comment earlier that it was Jon Daniels that got the Rangers out of bankruptcy. What? You've got to be kidding me. Jon Daniels did not get the Texas Rangers out of bankruptcy. Jon Daniels, again, like I said, did not get the Texas Rangers out of bankruptcy. All right? Jon Daniels did make a couple of brilliant trades, but he's made a lot in the last 3 years of boneheaded trades. Boneheaded trades. You know, since Nolan left, this team has went downhill. Gary Pettis, when Tim Bogart was not hired as the manager of the Texas Rangers, left to be part of the Houston Astros organization. Do I see writing on the wall that very well? Because it was Nolan Ryan that brought in Mike Maddox. It was Nolan Ryan that brought in Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Rangers. So, do I feel in my honest heart that Mike Maddox could be the next to go to the Houston Astros along with his brother, Greg Maddox? I could quite possibly see that happening. Their new manager, which I said I will talk about here in a little bit, has already spoken at least an hour to each one of his coaches that have not left about possibly coming back. The thing is with Mike Maddox, his contract is up. He can go anywhere. Unless the Rangers want to extend him, then they need to get down to the nitty-gritty and lock him up as well. So, do I feel the Texas Rangers should extend Jon Daniels right now? No. What I do feel is you should give Jon Daniels, let his contract go for the next 3/4 of a year next year, see how the Rangers are faring. If they're faring well enough, then you think about extending him. You don't extend him after a bad season, not knowing how next season's going to go. These are only my opinions. What are your thoughts on this? You have a chat window over there. I see viewers live right now. You know, if you want to chat with me now, right now, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the Rangers and their possibility of extending Jon Daniels? Do you think the Rangers should extend Jon Daniels? Do you not care about Jon Daniels? Would you much rather see the Rangers hire Thad Levine as the general manager? What are your thoughts on this? You can message me live. You know, I have the ability to chat with you live right now. You have the ability to chat with me, any questions with me live right now. What are your thoughts on this? All right. As previously stated, I told you I would go over the Texas Rangers hiring of the new manager. The new manager for the Texas Rangers is going to be Jeff Bannister. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. I believe it is Bannister, Jeff Bannister. He was the bench coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He spent the last 29 years in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. And I told you earlier through our Facebook page on facebook.com/allaboutsportszone that I would give you his stats. Okay, I just looked up his stats, and these stats just make me laugh, okay? I know maybe he was a minor league player, but what do I know? I know in June 20th, 1986, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 25th round. His stats, as I see them right now, are in 1991, at the age of 26, he played one game for the Pirates, had one hit, and that was about it. Pretty good numbers. One at bat, one hit. Not bad. Not bad, I guess. If you want to be a one-game player, I'm hoping that he played a lot in the minor leagues as well, or maybe he was a minor league player. But what I'm noticing is that his stats are pretty ugly. Uh, you know, his stats are nowhere near what I was hoping in a manager for the Texas Rangers. I love the fact that his passion for analytics is the same as that of Ron Washington's. I like the fact that John Daniels hired him because he was similar to that of the mindset of Ron Washington. I am not happy with the fact that his numbers were not all that pretty. One game in the majors, that's all I can find. I mean, maybe you can find more than myself. But to be quite honest with you, I can't find anything other than a game. If you can find something, like I said, you can like our Facebook page and you can message me there, or you can chat with me live right now. But to my knowledge, from the stats that I'm seeing online, he only played one game in the major leagues. That was a pinch hitter. He had one hit. 1,000 batting average. I'm going to retire. See you later. I guess that's the best way to retire, right? One hit, one at bat. Okay, all right, I'm retiring. Let's get into coaching. I only had one at bat. I played my whole life, but I only had one at bat. We'll see how this goes. I love the fact.
Finishing 67 and 90.
I love the fact that the Rangers hired somebody different. I was hoping, though, that they would hire Tim Bogar, just for the mere fact that through the 23 games that he had, he won his last 13 out of 16. He had a 9-game winning streak at one point, was 14-6 the last 20 games of the season. That being said, the Rangers and John Daniels and ownership knew that they needed a change. So they went with the best possible manager that they felt could bring change. Not too much change, because they wanted somebody similar to Ron Washington, but they wanted somebody that could bring change, bring electricity to the locker room. Electricity that may have been missing last year. I'm not too impressed with this hire yet. Am I excited about baseball season coming up next year? Yes. Am I excited about the hiring of this gentleman just yet? Not quite. I'm not quite, enthused with the hiring. You know, ask me halfway through the season next year if this team is lighting it up. They're health wise, they're better healthy than they are this year. They're playing better baseball. They're playing winning baseball, and they're up in the top 2, 3 spots in the West. Then ask me again, and maybe I'll eat crow for you again. I'm good about eating crow on this show, aren't I? I'm very good about eating crow. Very good about eating crow. So, that being said, basketball season is coming up. The Oklahoma City Thunder had some terrible news come up last week. Kevin Durant, their MVP from last year, had to have foot surgery. He's going to be out, they said, about 4 to 6 weeks, meaning that he's going to be out for about 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season in the NBA. Will that hurt the Thunder? Quite possibly. In my opinion, I do think it will hurt them in some ways because I'm not quite confident that Russell Westbrook is a leader, so to speak, nor does he have the leadership abilities. But I do think they're fair well enough that when Durant comes back, that they'll just mesh it up and be that same team that they were last year with the additions of a few players that they got in the offseason. Alrighty, with that being said, I'm glad you joined me. Like I said, I was going to wait till the end of the show to go over college football scores today. There were some upsets in college football. We go over the finals first. Then I'll go over the games that are being played right now, and you'll get an idea of those games as well. So, starting with Thursday night, Thursday, October 16th, Utah, the number 20 team Utah, beat Oregon State 29-23. So that was a pretty close game. Oregon State hung in there for most of the game and very well could have won the game. As a matter of fact, Utah won the game in overtime. So that's quite interesting. That's one of those teams that almost got blew out. Rutgers lost to Ohio State 56-17. Ohio State 13th ranked, proving that they could very well make it up to the playoff spot. With teams continuing to lose in the top spots, teams will start being shuffled. And Ohio State's one of those teams that I could very well see moving up and by the end of the season being a playoff contending team. Clemson winning 17-13. That's 24th ranked Clemson winning 17-13 over Boston College. 25th ranked Marshall winning 45-13 over Florida International University. We have Kansas State winning against Oklahoma in Norman against Bob Stoops, which typically does not happen a hell lot. 31-30. The missed field goals, a missed extra point, and interceptions, and the lack of defensive play on the Sooners side were the cause of that loss for the Oklahoma Sooners. 12th ranked TCU obliterates. I love using big words. Obliterates Oklahoma State 42-9. Boykin really proved, and TCU again by beating Oklahoma State, has proven that they could very well be a playoff contending team as well. 8th-ranked Michigan State winning 56-17 over Indiana. Georgia, 10th-ranked, 45-32 all over Arkansas. Now for the big clobberings in college football. West Virginia, unranked as of right now. That could very well change because now they are 3-1 in the Big 12 and 5-2 overall. Stifles Baylor 41-27. That was an upset that most people did not see coming. Texas A&M gets clobbered by Alabama 59-0. Alabama still showing that they are a playoff contending team. USC creams Colorado 56-28. 22 ranked USC. Now for games that are going on currently. Washington losing to number 9 Oregon 21-6. That game can be seen on Fox Sports 1. At halftime, number 19 Nebraska is losing to Northwestern 17-14. That can be seen on the BTN. Stanford, number 23, taking on Arizona State, number 17. And they have Stanford down, losing by 3.5 points. I believe Stanford wins by 17 in that game. 17. Tennessee losing to Mississippi, or Ole Miss, 14-3 at the moment. Let me check that. That could very well be updated. Losing 14-3 at the moment. That game can be seen on ESPN. So if you're not watching or if you have cable, you can see that game on ESPN as well. And the game that's on ABC, number 5 ranked Notre Dame against number 2 Florida State. Looks to be, as of right now, with 8:27 left in the second quarter, a Notre Dame lead at 14-7. With all these scores and highlights being said, I am glad and happy that you joined me here on the Jimmy the K Show this Saturday evening at 8 p.m. I hope that you will join us again next Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I have each and every week I come through a plethora of sports news. But you remember, you can always get in contact with me. There are always 3 easy ways to get in contact with me, and I'd be more than glad to answer yours live on the show, or for you to be live on the show at some point. I would love to have your feedback on this show. Remember 3 easy ways to get in contact with me. Email allaboutsportszone@gmail.com, Facebook.com/allaboutsportszone, or follow me on Twitter, JimmyChristy1. Until next Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, I am your host, Jimmy the K. Peace out.